Book review: The Scorpion and the Night Blossom by Amélie Wen Zhao. An Immortal Gamble in Mortal World. Beauty, Betrayal, and Blades. Amélie Wen Zhao's The Scorpion and the Night Blossom, the first in her new Three Realms duology, is dazzling, heart-wrenching, and action-packed plunge into richly imagined fantasy world inspired by Chinese mythology. With the lyrical beauty readers came to expect from her Song of Silver Flame like Night, Zhao returns with sharper tale, one where love and loyalty are tested on every level, and where survival demands far more than just strength. From its haunting opening to its breathtaking close, this novel pulls readers into a world on the brink of collapse. War has fractured kingdoms, the sky refuses to give light, and demons prowl the lands, not only stealing lives but souls. Amid this ruin, one girl embarks on an impossible quest to win place in the realm's trials of immortality and claim the eternal life pill that may be her mother's only hope of survival. Plot summary: Amélie Wen Zhao's The Scorpion and the Night Blossom, the first book in the Three Realms duology, plunges readers into lush, perilous fantasy worlds steeped in Chinese mythology and driven by the relentless force of love, duty, and survival. The story centers on Àn'yīng, fierce young woman shaped by tragedy. As child, her life was ripped apart by the devastating war between the Kingdom of Night and the Kingdom of Rivers. Conflict that left mother gravely injured and near death, with her father gone, and younger sister to protect. Àn'yīng has spent nearly a decade sharpening herself into a weapon, determined to prevent further loss. Now, as the mortal world succumbs to eternal night, demons known as ethereal, deadly beings that feast on flesh and souls, descend upon the land. Humanity's days are numbered unless something changes. But there is a legend, a near mythical event called the Immortality Trials. Deadly competition held in the immortal realm, open to any mortal bold enough to reach it and survive its merciless challenges. The prize: pill of eternal life, capable of curing even the gravest wounds and preserving life indefinitely. For Àn'yīng, that pill is the only hope of saving her dying mother's soul before it vanishes into the void forever. Armed with twin crescent blades and the refined skills of practitioner, one trained in ancient martial and spiritual arts, Àn'yīng sets off on the treacherous journey. The path to the immortal realm is brutal test in itself, filled with rogue demons, enchanted landscapes, and rival contenders just as desperate and dangerous as she is. Each step forward is brushed with death. Still, Àn'yīng pushes on, fueled by her love for her mother and the need to find meaning in the sacrifice and suffering of her past. Upon entering the trials, Àn'yīng quickly learns that survival demands not just strength and skill, but cunning, endurance, and the ability to navigate layers of deception. The immortal realm is not what the legends promised. It is decadent but decaying place of crumbling palaces, broken oaths, divine powers twisting under corruption. Strangely, amid this chaos, Àn'yīng finds an unexpected ally, Yù'chén, striking, enigmatic fellow contestant whose abilities suggest he is more than he appears. He saves her life more than once, but offers no clear explanation for why. Is he protecting her out of shared purpose or using her for his own ends? As the trials progress, filled with lethal illusions, monstrous guardians, and moral tests that question the soul as much as the body, Àn'yīng and Yù'chén grow closer. Their tentative bond becomes laced with trust, flirtation, and something deeper. Yet she cannot shake the suspicion that he holds secrets that could shift the very balance of the realms. Àn'yīng begins to suspect that the trials themselves may be lie. Behind their glittering surface lies darker truth about the immortal realm, the origins of the and the very nature of the gods that once ruled both mortals and immortals. The more she uncovers, the more urgent her mission becomes. Saving her mother might mean more than claiming pill of eternal life. It might mean unraveling the schemes of immortals and demons alike, and choosing side and are greater than she imagined. As tensions rise between the remaining contestants, betrayal stalks every alliance. Àn'yīng must decide whether she can trust Yù'chén with her life and the lives of those she loves. Is he truly fighting for justice? Or is he the harbinger of larger, more dangerous game? Her memories of the past and her mother's final fragmented words begin to resurface, hinting at connection between her family and the immortal realm that was buried during the war. With every challenge she overcomes, Àn'yīng transforms, not just as fighter, but as leader, strategist, and someone whose actions could reshape the destiny of all three realms, mortal, immortal, and demonic. In a climactic sequence marked by breathtaking action and emotional revelations, Àn'yīng faces the final trial, one that will demand the ultimate sacrifice. With the truth of Yù'chén's identity revealed and the true stakes of the trials laid bare, she must choose between vengeance and mercy, love and legacy. Will Àn'yīng emerge from the trials victorious? Will she gain the power to save her mother or lose herself in the process? And what will it cost the mortal world if she fails? The Scorpion and the Night Blossom is mesmerizing blend of myth, romance, and political intrigue set in beautifully imagined world of night blossoms, demon storms, and collapsing empires. With lyrical prose, cinematic battles, and haunting questions about love and destiny, Amélie Wen Zhao launches an unforgettable fantasy duology that promises even greater revelations in the next installment. A heroine forged in grief and fire, Àn'yīng is not passive protagonist swept up by fate. She is driven, complex, and hardened by loss. Her mother lies between life and death. Her father is gone. Her sister needs protection, and the world offers no mercy. Trained in the sacred arts of practicing, Àn'yīng wields twin crescent blades and searing willpower that refuses to break. Even when demons chase her through the woods, when allies come enemies, and when she realizes the immortal realm may not be sanctuary but trap, Zhao does a masterful job of building Àn'yīng's character. She doesn't emerge fully formed. Instead, through battle memory and budding relationships, Àn'yīng discovers who she is. Both a scorpion and a blossom, her journey is more than a physical one. It's spiritual awakening, coming of age layered with cultural, emotional trauma, and reckoning with what it means to truly save someone. The Immortality Trials, not just a game of strength. Much of the narrative centers around the Immortality Trials, and Zhao uses this ancient competition as more than just plot device. These trials are symbolic battlegrounds, testing not just body and blade, but soul, heart, and conviction. Each trial is imaginative and terrifying, blending traditional myth with dreamlike fantasy and psychological warfare. Participants must confront their deepest fears, make impossible choices, and survive traps that seem designed more to destroy one's spirit than merely claim one's life. This structure allows Zhao to explore wide emotional range, from desperate alliances to betrayals so personal they scar. It's not just about who will win, but who remain themselves by the end. For Àn'yīng, every trial becomes tests of identity and integrity. Yù'chén, mystery wrapped in silk and shadow. Enter Yù'chén, fellow contestant, mysterious protector, and the enigmatic center of much of the novel's emotional tension. Yù'chén is equal parts warrior and riddle, with abilities that surpass what's expected of mortal and gaze full of secrets. He intrigues not only Àn'yīng but the reader. His motives are deliberately obscured for most of the novel, creating push-pull dynamic between him and Àn'yīng that is both romantic and suspenseful. Their growing connection, so earned and well-earned, Zhao doesn't rush them into love, but lets their bond build through trust, sacrifice, and shared trauma. Still, heavy question looms. Can Yù'chén be trusted? And more dangerously, does he trust himself? Yù'chén's character arc mirrors Àn'yīng's in intriguing ways. If Àn'yīng is the scorpion fighting to protect her vulnerable center, Yù'chén is the blossom hiding poison thorns. Both are marked by pasts they don't fully understand, and both must uncover truths about themselves in the world that will change everything. World building that dazzles and devours. Zhao's world building is nothing short of opulent. Her prose evokes imagery that is lush, tactile, and cinematic. Petals fall like whispers in the wind. Shadows slither through palace halls. The immortal realm is both gorgeous and grotesque, its beauty masking rot, its grandeur concealing ruin. This duality mirrors the larger theme of the book, that what appears divine may be hollow, and what seems monstrous may hold untold truths. Three realms, mortal, immortal, and demonic, each feel distinct and alive. The immortal realm in particular steals the show with its blend of imperial aesthetics, elemental magic, and hidden dangers. Zhao draws from East Asian folklore without exoticizing it. Instead, she treats it as intrinsic to the character's culture, language, and way of life, enriching the narrative without pausing to over-explain or simplify. The Motu are more than just villains. They're part of larger, more complex, involving soul consumption, reincarnation, and forgotten pacts. Some Mo are terrifying, some are tragic, and some may not be enemies at all. Themes: sacrifice, the identity, and the cost of power. At its heart, The Scorpion and the Night Blossom is a novel about what we're willing to give up to save the ones we love. Àn'yīng's quest isn't just about survival. It's about healing, about reclaiming what was stolen by war, about refusing to become the monster that the world expects. Zhao deftly explores the intergenerational trauma of war, the erosion of faith in corrupted systems, and the burdens placed on young women to be everything at once. Strong and soft, brave and careful, selfless and strategic, the trials also serve as metaphors for modern pressures. How systems reward cruelty masked as ambition, how institutions demand performance over principle, and how the path to immortality, fame, power, legacy is often paved with compromise. Àn'yīng constantly asks, what is worth winning if it costs you your soul? Another major theme is trust, who we place it in, how it's broken, and whether it can be mended. This is explored not only in Àn'yīng's relationship with Yù'chén, but with her fellow competitors, her absent father, her mother's fading memories, and the immortal beings who see mortals as pawns. Pacing and structure, a few flaws amid the magic. Though the novel soars for most of its length, its middle act sometimes struggles under the weight of exposition. As the mythology deepens and the plot thickens, Zhao occasionally slows the narrative to deliver necessary lore. Some readers may find themselves momentarily untethered, especially as new magical systems and historical contexts are revealed. However, this is minor quibble in a book of such ambition and scope. Zhao largely succeeds in balancing character development with world building, and by the final third, the pacing picks up dramatically, leading to tense, emotionally rich climax that lands with devastating clarity. Representation and resonance. It cannot be overstated how meaningful it is to see fantasy novel rooted in Chinese cultural heritage without diluting that essence for Western consumption. Zhao honors linguistic traditions like name order and terms of respect, spiritual beliefs such as ancestral reverence and yin-yang balances, and mythic creatures in a way that feels organic and authentic. This is not Western fantasy with Asian flavoring. This is fantasy told on its own terms, and it is triumph. Moreover, Àn'yīng's emotional struggles, feeling responsible for her family, questioning her worth, trying to live up to an impossible standard, will resonate with anyone who has grown up shouldering more than their fair share. Her fight is both literal and symbolic. The verdict, a masterpiece in the making. The Scorpion and the Night Blossom is beautifully crafted, emotionally layered, and utterly immersive fantasy debut to this new duology. Amélie Wen Zhao continues to prove that she is leading voice in new fantasy, delivering story that is as intimate as it is epic. This book will appeal to fans of Throne of Glass for its fierce heroine and deadly competitions, Daughter of Smoke and Bone for its lyrical prose and star-crossed, Zuran J. Zhao's Iron Widow for its feminist rage and mythic remixing, and R. F. Kuang's The Puppy War for its war-driven morality and cultural depth, but Zhao's voice is unmistakably her own, with unforgettable characters, richly imagined world, and twists that leave you breathless. The Scorpion and the Night Blossom sets high bar for fantasy in 2024 and beyond. Final rating: 5 of hauntingly beautiful, action-packed fantasy that doesn't flinch from darkness but still finds room for hope, heart, and healing. Sequel can't come fast enough.